Hello, everybody. We are ready. I'm Lisa, and welcome to my brand new webinar and the kickoff of Clean and Sexy membership. So our webinar tonight is called the Spring Slim Down, 5 Steps to Eliminate Sugar, Burn Fat, and Look Amazing with Detox. Now, it's almost the end of March, and I'm all about the GDFR, getting down for real. I was actually going to play the song, but my music isn't, my iTunes isn't working right now. But anyway, I don't know if you've heard of that song, but I don't know if you know this, but I really like rap music. So anyway, this song always gets me going. In fact, my spin teacher played it today, and I just had to tell her right away that I was so excited to hear it. And they're playing it a lot for March Madness and things like that. So anywho, why I'm telling you all this is that, yes, it's time to get down for real. We had winter where we got to restore and reflect, sleep a little bit more, go within. And now it's spring. And I don't know if you could feel it, but I feel it in my cells. I feel awake. I feel that it's time to move. I'm going to take some action. And I'm ready to get a firm plan together for my health. What we set in motion now is going to carry us throughout the whole summer and into the fall season. So it's really important to implement the steps that I'm going to talk to you about tonight so that you can jumpstart your reboot. So how are you feeling? The same way, maybe? Maybe you feel it in your cells too, that you are ready to get down for real. So anyway, sugar is something that we're going to be focusing on tonight. And I'm not going to be telling you to take away things. We're going to be talking about what to add in. So it might be a little bit different from what you're used to. So let's get started. You are in the right place and I'm glad that you're with me. If you crave sugar, even if it's the bread, baked goods, chocolate, candy, and you really want to get a grip on this once and for all. You tried tons of diets, you've gotten pills. In fact, they have a lot of sugar cleanse pills that you can get at the store. Sometimes they're pretty pricey, but you've tried that, and you even tried going cold turkey, and obviously that didn't work for you. You're confused about what foods to eat and how they relate to your sugar habit. In fact, a lot of the times we think, fatty foods are going to make us fat, and in actuality, it's the sugar that does that. And low-fat and non-fat foods are, I probably won't even have to tell you this because I know you're on it with your nutrition, but those foods are packed with hidden sugars. So those are things that we're going to be thinking about tonight. And you've also done a great job switching out your processed sugars with some natural sugars, but you're still feeling, depressed, you're bloated, you're not sure why, you're looking older than you actually are, and it's really frustrating for you. And, you're ready for this. You want to get free from the sugar, any type of, substance that's going to hold you back from really living the life that you want to live. And you're ready for a cleanse. And I'm going to tell you how to do that safely and actually with food tonight. So it doesn't really matter if sugar is a big issue for you specifically, but to be honest, I have tried and true tips that are going to be working for you tonight, and I want to give you the step-by-step plan during this call. Now, really quickly about me, I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach, and I'm the creator of the Renewal 10-Day Detoxes and the Clean and Sexy membership program, where I've been able to help thousands of women all over the globe, in Australia, New Zealand, the United States, Canada, even in Europe. I have lots of clean and sexy beasts and detoxers in Germany, Spain, Italy. And I get to work with them to kick unhealthy habits, things that we'll talk about tonight, and help, really talk about the intuitive eating, really honing in on what works best for your body. So everything that we're going to talk about on the call goes back to what works for you. I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to think about your own body, your own situation, your own environment, your emotions, I want you to keep that in mind when I go through this 5-step plan with you. Nobody, not one of us, will thrive on a cookie cutter type of solution. So I want you to make sure that you test some of these ideas tonight and see what works for you. So here's the deal. We're going to go through the plan. I'm going to give you some background information so that you have the basis of what we're doing. That will be about 35 minutes. And then we'll have a question and answer. And then we'll go over any questions that you have. So our call is going to last about 50 minutes. I am going to try to stick to that because I know that I can talk forever about nutrition. It's my favorite subject of all, and I love to teach. I had an amazing time really sitting here, putting together these slides for you, getting all the information and organized for you. I just love it. I'm very passionate about it, so I can talk a lot about it. So, but I have my timer right here, so that I can keep on track. Alrighty, let's go. All right. So during the call, let's go really quickly about what you're going to learn. We're going to talk about that word balance. Not my favorite word, actually, because to be human, it's really hard to be balanced in every aspect of our lives. But we're going to be talking about that, especially what it means to in the relation of cravings. I'm going to give you specific steps. They're actually food ideas to curb your sugar addiction. Because going cold turkey is going to result in either feeling deprived, or you're going to get horrible headaches, and you're going to want to resort back to eating the sugar and things like that. So I'm going to give you the steps that will help you. In relation to that, you're going to find out the best fat-burning foods. And in fact, they're the foods for spring and to cleanse the liver. So it's really exciting on how this all works out, because the best fat-burning foods actually curb your sugar cravings. So it's going to be amazing to find all of that out. And we'll talk about cleansing during the spring, and the 5 steps are really habits that you're going to be needing in place before summer hits, because summer's playtime. And we really want to have this in order. And then you'll see the Spring Slim Down Quick Start. I'll have some recipes for you that you'll get to use immediately in daily life. I will give you more information about that towards the end of the call. You'll be able to use these steps that you'll find out tonight immediately. You can tomorrow if you even want to do it. And they're really highly recommended to get started right away. All right. And after we talk about the steps, I want to tell you more about the new spring enrollment for Clean and Sexy. I'm really excited to welcome new members to our group. We have hundreds of beautiful women in the group, and every season we open up enrollment, and I want to tell you more about that. All right. So let's talk about the foundation of why you either need to cut the sugar out of your life or cut all of the clutter. Maybe you drink a lot of caffeine. Maybe you do a lot of processed foods or eating out. Let's talk about that for a moment. You know the truth by the way it feels, right? We all know that. We get that feeling in our gut if something's wrong. Or we get butterflies in our stomach if we know that we're excited and something good's going to happen. Your heart lets you know if you're feeling, love, or you're feeling heartbreak, or you're about to do something and you're about to make a decision and your body's tugging you to go one way or the other. And you do know, your body knows everything, but unfortunately, especially as adults, we've learned to let our minds take over our brains, because aren't the brains the smartest? Well, we think so. And we start looking into the diet thing, or Dr. Oz, who I adore and I think he's great, but he said this, or we should do this, or this blogger says that. And we're not sure even how to tap into our own truth after all that. So for me, that word balance means truth. And I lost my truth, I think, probably when I was really young. In fact, it started when I was 8 years old when someone told me I was fat, and it was someone who I adored, And I just remember taking it to heart and being crushed, and I just stopped eating. And I actually used to write down exactly what I ate each day, and I would only allow myself 5 items to eat. So it was pretty sad. I started this relationship with food that was really unhealthy, and it kind of lasted for years. I remember being in 5th and 6th grade still writing down in a little notebook, actually, what I ate. Needless to say, my relationship with food didn't get any better because I started to do any diet I could do. The low-fat thing that I told you about, I did that forever. I did the non-fat. I did the all-carb diet where my plate was all white with the the rice and the pasta. Did Atkins. I did South Beach. In South Beach, I stayed on that for about 3 to 4 years, and I never got to stage 2, which meant that I stayed in stage 1 where I didn't have any fruit or any type of natural sugar. So as you can see, I had no idea what truth was, especially when it came to my body. My body wasn't leading the way. It was more my mind that was doing that, and fear of, I think the fear was mainly of gaining weight. I think I was really scared about that. I was scared about that. And in the meantime, with all the diets, I got very sick. And at the time, when I kind of realized everything, I was about 28, 29 years old, and I had cystitis. I had all type of autoimmune issues like fibromyalgia. I was getting, I had medication for that. Cystitis, the rosacea, I had chronic fatigue syndrome. I had a bunch of UTIs where I realized that I had a lot of yeast problems and candida, very connected to that sugar. When I was eating all those, white carbs, and, that was sugar. And so I was so out of balance, and it was so sad. And I was really too young to feel that way. So I remember, actually, and I'm a journal freak. I have millions of journals for the past probably 20 years. I just remember writing in my journal one day. I had moved into my new house. I had bought my own house. I was so proud. And I kind of felt lonely. I'm like, okay, I have this house. Where's everybody? So I was just journaling and realizing how sick I really was and feeling really hopeless because I couldn't figure out why all the stuff that I thought was healthy, in fact, other people thought I was really healthy, why they weren't working. And the worst part was that I was in such pain, especially from fibromyalgia, that I really couldn't even work out. I couldn't go hiking, which I love to go hiking, and it just killed me inside. And it wasn't until I got a wake-up call from my urologist. They were going to do some type of operation, and I was just like, no, you're not going to cut me and do something that maybe I just don't feel good about. I'm going to try to look at this more on a holistic slant here. So I didn't think surgery would be the answer, and I turned to acupuncture, craniosacral therapy, lots of massage and yoga. I did polarity. I even had my eyes read. It's called iridology, and I found out that I had candida, which caused me a lot of problems. I was taking herbs. I was feeling better, and my symptoms almost went away, but I really wasn't addressing the food like I needed to, and I wasn't managing my stress. So I really needed some help with that last piece, that last missing piece. So that's when I first heard of detox. And I have to be honest, my first time detox was a disaster. It was with my acupuncturist, who I adored, and she was amazing. In fact, she had a big part of me going to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and getting certified in nutrition and changing my whole life around. Now, it was a 10-day detox, and it was in the winter. But I remember buying a paper bag full of pills, and there was like this powder that tasted like mud, I guess. I don't know what mud tastes like, but you know what I mean. And I only lasted about 4 days. Even though it wasn't the best experience, I knew I was onto something. I did start to feel something during that detox, even though it wasn't the type of detox that that worked for my body. But I started to tap in a little bit into my body and to kind of weed away the clutter that was there. So anyway, I was passionate about healing and constantly researching detox and getting certified. And like I said, my acupuncturist had a big role in encouraging me to go back to school for that. I had a big community around me when I detoxed after that. And I started developing a way to eat real whole foods that incorporate certain self-core practices. And I'll give you some of the practices tonight that didn't represent the deprivation or starvation that a detox sometimes signifies. Especially if you Google it, you'll get a lot of scary stories there. A big part of the plan was to tackle the sugar head on with a holistic approach. Now I'm 45 years old and I've never felt better. I look even better than I did when I was 28. And I don't take any medications at all. I don't have issues like I did with the sugar, other type of cravings. And you're going to be so surprised when I give you the 5 steps tonight, because you're going to think, Lisa, we didn't take anything away. I have to get rid of this. You're going to see by adding things in over time, you're going to ease that sugar craving that's hindering your health. All right, so balance. And I'm showing you my chart. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that everything that I talk about, the basis of all my programs and all my work with my clients goes back to balance. And we're going to start with the physical body, because we just want balance no matter what. As humans, that's what we want. We want balance within each other, right? Nobody really likes conflict. We want balance globally. We want to feel connected. We want to feel like we belong. On the basic level, on the physical level, we want balance. We strive for 7.365 pH balance there. So if you look on the chart, it's the green. You could actually test yourself with pH strips you could get off of Amazon or at Whole Foods or any natural food store. And you can actually test your acidity, because when your cells are acidic, you're inflamed, and inflammation over time leads to chronic disease like cancer and diabetes and heart disease. It also leads to things like acne, the rosacea that I was having, autoimmune issues, gaining weight, anything that's imbalanced in your body. So over time, stress, which is the #1 cause of inflammation, and certain foods like caffeine, sugar, dairy, gluten, alcohol, even animal protein can tip us over to the acidic side over time. Now, this doesn't happen one day. This happens over years. And as we get older, we start to develop symptoms. We start to realize that we have more pain than usual, or that we're fighting some type of illness. Remember, this takes a long time to happen, but if you don't reset your body at least each season, because each time the season changes, every time, our bodies are put under stress naturally throughout the environment. So you have to reboot to kind of get back to balance there. There are certain foods that will help you. I'm going to give you some of the foods tonight. They are actually liver cleansing foods, they're fat burning foods, and they're also sugar busting foods. So all of these foods are alkaline, and they're going to be able to help us. One more thing I want to tell you about the springtime is that we do strive for balance not only in our bodies, with each other, globally, but we strive for balance within nature. We were eating warm soups, really warm foods during the winter. And that's different than what we would do during the summer, where we would have raw vegetables and juices and smoothies. Now, in the springtime, it's necessary to eat foods that will lighten you up. So these foods can be asparagus, spinach, arugula, watercress. And it's really interesting because these foods are all green, and that's the way we should be eating. They all cleanse the liver, and the liver, I want you to keep in mind, is it's actually the leading organ. It rules the springtime according to traditional Chinese medicine. So when you're out of balance, It all starts with your food, of course, and what your, how your system is processing. But if your liver is not metabolizing toxins, if your liver is, not working properly, it's not in balance, it actually leads to a lot of skin problems, which is interesting, but it's highly connected. And you become weepy, you're very, very tired, not motivated, and it leads to a big imbalance for your springtime. So when you are imbalanced, you want to move, you want to take action, you are motivated. So think about that throughout the talk tonight. So living our truth, tapping into what really makes us happy, happens when we clean out the clutter within ourselves, and that sugar is a big, big part of it. When we feel the truth more, we connect to our bodies, and then we're able to have our bodies lead the way. So our minds or our brains don't do that as much anymore because your body knows instinctively the answers. Your body knows how to heal you. Tonight we're going to look at the whole picture, and I'm going to tell you more about how we can let our bodies guide us. Okay, now I want to point out that speaking to the balance here, it's actually a good thing. Cravings, especially with sugar, as humans it's natural to crave sugar. It is normal, it is natural, it's just telling you that, something's not in balance here. We have to figure this out. What can it be? Let's think about it. Because the sugar, yes, it might be the processed foods or the, Twix bars or Kit Kats or the yummy bagels that you get from the bakery or the muffins. But there are specific reasons why you have these cravings. Now let me talk to you about 5 of them. There are many, and actually hormones do play a part, but I'm not going to get into that tonight because that can be a whole other class that I will do for you. Here are the primary ones. Okay, the lack of water, I know. We're going to talk about water, definitely. That's going to be an issue with cravings, especially with sugar. If you're dehydrated, a lot of the time your body sends a signal of, oh my goodness, I'm hungry. I need a quick fix. And what do we use for quick fixes? Sugar. The lack of nutrients. We're going to talk more about the specific nutrients I want you to add into your body. But if you are not getting enough protein, or if you're not getting enough greens, that can be causing your sugar craving. A family habit. I had a client, in fact, actually, she's a Clean and Sexy member, and she's amazing. And she had mentioned to me many times, she has written to me through email, actually privately, saying that she grew up with her dad bringing home sweets for treats, for anything that they did good. And it got into this habit of, if they got straight A's, they got this treat. And in fact, even with me, my dad would take me to Dairy Queen, and I would get a small vanilla cone. Anytime I got straight A's or a good report card, and after my dance recitals, if I did a great job on stage, things like that. So it becomes some type of tradition, comfort. So think about that, about the sugar there. Also, the self-sabotage. I don't know about you, but there have been times where I would treat myself at night because I made it through the day, especially when I had an infant and a 2-month-old toddler. So I remember not getting any sleep, and just to get those 2 to bed, I just would collapse and treat myself to either a bowl of ice cream or a glass of red wine. Sometimes you are sabotaging yourself. You're not, you could celebrate yourself, and it doesn't have to be 100%. You can never have wine or you can never have your ice cream, but you get into the habit because sugar is so addicting. So you have to, watch that. And the lack of primary food. Really quickly, primary food is a term from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition where I studied, and it means simply love. Either it's love, relationships, feeling connected to something spiritual, having a good work life, having exercise in your life, something that you love to do. Primary food is crucial. And in fact, any type of craving does go back to emotional eating. So really quickly, look at these five reasons why sugar might be an issue in your life. Like I said, I know a lot of mine was the self-sabotage thing at one point, and as soon as I started to pay attention to that, as soon as I started to cleanse on a regular basis throughout the year during the seasons, as soon as I started to eat cleaner and tap into my own body's wisdom, I realized, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was doing that. I never paid attention. And as soon as I started to add other things in, I'm going to tell you exactly what to add in now, you know, I wouldn't have known, and I would still be caught in the cycle. Okay, there we go. All right. So, yes, I'm going to talk about water. I'll talk about it really quickly, but I really want to emphasize that this is number one. You need to drink and water. Okay, water is what I'm talking about here. Take your body weight, and what I would do is I pump actually half your body weight in ounces each day. There are so many water bottles out there that have actually measurements on them that you could track the amount of water that you're drinking. Set a timer by your computer if you work, you know, at your desk, and drink. I know that I used to work in an office after my teaching days. I worked with my friend Emily, and she had this amazing company where we would all meet and work at this office, and we were trying to drink more water, and one of the girls would set her timer, and you know, it will go off every hour, and she, you know, would be like, okay, it's time to drink, and we would all chug our water. And it really got us into a great habit there. Also, I want you to wake up with a cleansing drink. Water with lemon. It could be room temperature water, half a lemon. I like lemon. You might want to do a fourth of a lemon. It all depends on the size. Drink that immediately upon waking, even before you have to go to the bathroom if you can, just because it jumpstarts your metabolism, because we are talking about fat burning tonight. It does help with cravings, and it's going to boost your metabolism for the day. So drink, drink, drink. That's going to be very, very important for you. The next step is going to be flushing. Now this is a specific fat-burning detox tea that I recommend that you do. Now, I do this in the morning, especially if I need a big, you know, jump start. This is great for the spring season also. You know, the warm water is going to flush you out as it is and reset you because you become a little bit acidic overnight, just naturally, just because your body cleanses naturally throughout the night while you sleep. You want to alkalize with lemon. It's actually a natural fat burner and detoxifier. And then I want you to add some ground cinnamon. This is going to help regulate that blood sugar. It's going to curb that hunger feeling. And actually, since this spice, you know, it actually tastes sweet, it will help you with those sugar cravings. And then the cayenne pepper. This is a natural fat melter. I hope I spelled that right. Looks like it. I don't know. Maybe I made up a word. But anyway, it's a metabolism booster, and it's a great thing to give a little kick to your drink. Do flush with this drink. This is the second step. And as you can see, I'm not taking anything out of your regular routine right now, meaning when it comes to the sugars and things like that. I want you to start adding this in. Next, I want you to make sure you're eating. In the past, when I was a teacher, back in my old life, I used to probably drink a pot of coffee before 12 noon. And I didn't realize at the time, but caffeine is an appetite suppressant, so I didn't really feel hungry. And then it would hit me at 3 o'clock where I was starving, realized I really didn't eat maybe a couple bites of a bagel or something like that throughout the day. And let me tell you, the vending machine, I totally had a good relationship with that. And I also had a great relationship with the lunch ladies at school because they would make these special cookies, I guess for, the staff meetings and stuff like that. And I made sure I got my fair share when they came out of the oven. So eat every 2 to 3 hours. Keep your metabolism boosted. Another thing that was happening to me, of course I was not very well. I was very sick at the time. But I also couldn't lose weight for the life of me. And it's because I just slowed down my metabolism by not eating. So eat. And here are some snack ideas. And I'm going to tell you about your quick start guide that I will send in an email to you after the call. I'm going to have a few recipes for you. But here are some snack ideas. Now the power balls are nut butter balls. You can use almond butter. You can use any cashew butter, any type of butter, and you can roll them up in balls, put sesame seeds, roll them in sesame seeds, coconut flakes, anything to get yourself some great protein. Remember, sometimes our sugar cravings are due to not enough protein. So the way you can figure that out is you take your body weight and multiply that by 0.40. And that should be the amount of grams that you can have per day. Now granted, everybody's body is different. The amount of exercise you do will, obviously influence that. But that could be just a general guideline. And you can Google grams of protein for any type of, any type of food that you want to check out. Okay? That is your second step. And I forgot to tell you, oh my goodness. If you have any questions, there's a question box, and all you have to do is type in there, and I'm going to see it. And I'm starting to see some questions. Yay! So I'm going to answer these on the question answer section. Okay? So, as you can see, we still have 2 more steps to go, but as you can see, you need to figure out where the sugar craving is coming from. And this goes for any type of craving or any type of imbalance. Is it due to a habit from, family life or tradition? Is it due to sabotage? Or is it really a nutritional thing? Tonight, we are focusing on the water and the nutrients, okay? But keep the other parts in mind because this is all going to relate to your own body. All right, now here are the main liver cleansing foods and fat burning foods. And it's going to be interesting because Spring Renewal 10-Day Detox is coming up. It's coming up on April 20th. Yay! You'll see a lot of these foods incorporated into the plan because they, first of all, cleanse the liver and support the liver, which is perfect for spring. They're also fat-burning foods. In fact, if you make a grapefruit drink, you could actually juice 1 to 2 ruby red grapefruits, add some mint, and there is a great fat-burning drink. Now, if it's too tart for you, you can add some filtered water, or you can put a lime in it. The turmeric is amazing for cleansing the liver. The garlic, you could put garlic in anything, in the soup, in your salads, anything, even in your juices. So even a little bit will go a long way. This is very supportive for your body. And spinach and dandelion greens, of course. Anything green at this time of year will do, but those 2 greens are the best for the fat-burning properties. Avocado, need I say more? I love avocado. I would live with avocados forever and ever. If I was stranded on an island, I would bring an avocado with me because I love them. Remember, fat doesn't make you fat. This is a good fat. And then beets. Beets are also they have the sweetness to them. Grounding root vegetables are really important to add into your body to help you with the sugar cravings. Okay, so when you get your quick start, like I said, you'll have about 5 recipes, and a few of the recipes are going to have these foods in them. Okay, And if you have any questions, write in the question box for me, because I'll address this, because I don't want to go too fast, but I also want to keep up with our time and make sure that we're all on schedule here. So nourish yourself with great food that, and as you can see, we're going to add all of this in, and we're not going to take anything away. And the last thing, though, this is really surprising, because I did mention the root vegetables and sweet potatoes, butternut squash. Obviously, the more you add in, the cravings you will see will decrease. But for spring, it's very supportive for the liver and just how we are and what we want to eat. Remember, we want balance within nature. And everything is starting to become green, and that's what we're going to be attracted to, and that's what our bodies are going to want. So what do the greens have to do with, first of all, fat burning or sugar busting? Here's how it's going to go. Every time you add a dark leafy green into your food, let's say you add green, dark green like a kale to your smoothie, you are neutralizing, you are balancing out your blood cells. Every time you make a detoxifying soup, let's say you make a pea soup or you have a broccoli soup, and that's what I was making here. You can see that I put in some greens and, you know, just celery and things like that. Every time you do that, your cells change. They become more balanced. And what happens when we're balanced? Physically, you're less inflamed. You're less apt to reach for something sugary because everything is balancing out. It's really interesting. The chlorophyll from the greens alkalize the blood, and it actually crowds out cravings. It's kind of crazy. I know you might not believe me, but it works. Now, this does not happen overnight. You can't drink a green smoothie and then go, okay, wait a minute, I want my wine. Managing the stress is going to be key. Remember, going back to those 5 indicators of what, of cravings, such as family, sabotaging, the primary food. Are you feeling lonely? Are you not satisfied in a part of your life? What's going on? So with the 5 steps, I address the water. Water's going to be, like I said, the #1 thing that you need to do first. And then with the food, really look into the fat-burning foods that I had there. And don't worry, you'll get a recording of this call, and I'll also have this in your little quick start guide that you'll get. I want you to keep this in mind. Managing your stress is going to be key. It is the #1 cause of inflammation. No matter how much kale you eat, no matter how many greens you add to your smoothie, it's going to cause cravings, no matter what. And I know that you probably can relate to me. I've done this many times, or let's say it turns into this vicious cycle of maybe you're worrying about something and you're up until all hours. It's 3 in the morning and you're still up and you can't go to bed. Then you're tired. Then you reach for some coffee because you just really got to make it through the day. And what goes with coffee? You might not feel the energy to make breakfast. You might not even want to put ingredients into the Vitamix. You're just too tired. So the muffin or the bagel will accompany the coffee. But those foods don't really nourish you. They don't nourish your body, so you're going to want more. And of course, with the crash and burn, with the sugar highs and lows, you're going to keep craving it. And then your cells are inflamed and you're not able to go to sleep at night. So it's like this whole, and then you're up at night again. And then the whole cycle goes on and on and on. So it's time to break that. I want you to use the 5 steps that I've given you tonight so that you can break that cycle. Our bodies are so primitive, and we go into a fight or flight mode when we're stressed out. And it's kind of, like I said, primitive, where it's a fight or flight where your body thinks you're actually being attacked by some type of animal or something really horrible. And really what it might be is that, oh, is my daughter going to make it through middle school or something like that? So, which are definitely true things to worry about, but it's all relative and your body just doesn't know how to decipher that. So it's really up to you to start paying attention to your beautiful bodies more so that you can zap the cravings. And remember, sugar, fat doesn't really make you fat. It's the sugar. Your body doesn't know what to do with that processed sugar. So it's going to turn to fat if it's not used. Let's say if you're not exercising or if you're not burning it off. So really keep that in mind. It all plays a part. Now here is Pam. She's one of our Clean and Sexy members, and her and her husband are the cutest things. They just got married a while back, and they're having fun, especially with their smoothies. Now, I'm not sure exactly why you showed up tonight, except for I know you want to hang out with me because I want to hang out with you too. I really love talking with you and chatting with you. But if I were to guess, you're here because you were fed up with sugar controlling your life and you know that there has to be a better way. And I'm hoping that the 5 strategies can be implemented immediately. Also, maybe because you want to start feeling good in your body instead of masking, like I was talking about with the caffeine or the sugar that we're focusing on tonight. You're masking how tired you are, or gaining weight, feeling drained. Or perhaps you're actually doing something, like you are doing the water, or you are trying to eat every 2 to 3 hours, but you're not sure how to put it all together. And it's really, really critical for you to get long-lasting results, and you want that, and that's why we're talking tonight. So by going on that journey I told you about throughout being sick, well, actually starting with the diets, being sick, having a community like my acupuncturist and others to cleanse with me the right way after I've gotten certified and did tons of research. And I developed a way to use detox not as an evil thing, but how it actually changed my life. And it's actually something that you do too. So you might be asking yourself, what am I going to do with those 5 steps? Well, first of all, I want you to try them immediately. Add them into your life. And I also have something for you that's going to make things so much easier for you. And I want to tell you about it because we open up enrollment tonight for Clean and Sexy. And I know that this will make things easier also. And all of the steps that I talked to you tonight are also a part of the program. Now, during the program, I'll be able to guide you, of course. I'll be there the whole time with the exact blueprint I used to develop the seasonal detoxes. And it doesn't just stop with the sugar, right? Because your sugar cravings will decrease, or in fact, maybe even disappear. And this will also be a benefit for your stomach or your belly because you'll get decreased belly fat and bloating just because sugar is very, very tied into that. Sugar causes that belly fat. And as soon as you start to curb your cravings, you'll notice that that will get better for you too. You'll notice your clothes loosening up, you'll get tons of energy, and you'll end up living a life where you feel great in your body. Now, Pam had mentioned, she had sent me, actually we talked, and she had told me, she always tells me all of the benefits. She's been in Clean and Sexy in our group for, and I'll tell you what that is in a minute, for over a year now. And I've been with Pam for 3 years, actually. And just by working together, she mentioned that there's countless benefits. And I'm going to read you a little bit. She just said that first and foremost, she looks at food from the standpoint of eating for health. And she learned what foods trigger any type of ailments that she was feeling. Like she had heartburn, she had a lot of insomnia. And she also got to help her husband. His name is Chris, and he now makes green smoothies every morning for everybody. When she hears them talking to friends or family about the smoothies or eating healthy, it just blows her mind because it's a complete opposite of how he was before he met her. And I just love that we are able to be role models. It's kind of like this ripple effect going on where even if we do our own thing, people are watching us drink our water, eat those foods like the grapefruit and the greens, and tote some snacks with work to work with us. So it's really, really exciting. And she was just saying, too, that she doesn't really have her dark circles anymore under her eyes. Her skin and eyes look brighter. And she's glowing, and she's had friends actually ask her what makeup that she's using. And, you know, she's just like, I didn't try anything different. It's just, you know, what I'm eating and my lifestyle. It's definitely changed. So it's pretty exciting. And the best thing about Clean and Sexy is our community. This is actually the most important part. Like I mentioned, we do have Spring Renewal 10-day detox coming up April 20th. And having that group to support you is so crucial. Even though you might think it's only 10 days or, you know, I could do that, it's something new, it's something different, and it changes each season for you. So it's really exciting to see how these women, and me included, really get to know each other super well. And, you know, if you're not a member already, I would love for you to join, and I want to tell you a little bit more about it. So Clean and Sexy, we have our spring enrollment happening, and that's the link if you want to check it out a little bit more. But what it is that you get a year of detox programs. So that means that you'll be cleansing with me in the group. Everything changes throughout the year. So right now in spring, we're focusing on the liver. We're cleansing with the liver. I actually go to my kitchen and I develop meals, and I put it into a menu plan, and then I write the recipes out for you, and then you get the shopping list where I spell out how many apples to buy, how many, you know, how much spinach to get for your plan. It's pretty amazing, and I love it. And like I said, it's the exact blueprint that I used myself to heal myself, and now I've been using it with thousands of women throughout the past goodness, it's almost been 5 years in September. So it's pretty exciting. So anyway, Clean and Sexy, really quickly, is an ongoing monthly membership program. So you get your seasonal detoxes. Everything's easy to follow. I do meet with you every month. We meet as a group. I have a call. I invite guests to come, like fitness experts, meditation experts, anyone in the health field, to kind of give us a well-balanced approach to our healing and, you know, so that we could achieve our health goals. And then that community I told you about, the accountability is huge. Okay, so we get our detoxes, and then I want to tell you about something new that happened this year. I've added 7 early bird bonuses. This is going to get you started. When you enroll, you'll be getting all of these goodies so that you don't have to wait. I also added a 3-day transition plan, so you can use it before your detox, use it now whenever you sign up, or you could use it after your detox to keep things going. So it's pretty thorough. In the program, you also get kicking meal plan kits, so that's 2 months worth of clean eating meal plans. The foods that we talked about tonight are incorporated in these meal plans, and any type of food that is anti-inflammatory. Now, really quickly, I know that, let me see, I want to get to questions really quick. Oh, goodness, yep. Okay, we have some time for questions. This is for only us here during the webinar. If you sign up for the webinar, even if you're listening to the recording, I am offering something really special. I've not done this in 2 years, but I'm offering a 15-minute power session consult. It's a private one with me. I opened up a few days out of my schedule where I have bookings where you can book a laser-focused customized session with me. That means, let's say you have something going on with your thyroid and you want to talk to me about it, and then I'll be able to talk to you about what you're eating or what's going on with your daily life, and I'll be able to tweak it for you because I'm very good at pinpointing. Even if it's only one thing, I'll be able to say, oh, we need to change that. Let's swap that out, or let's add this in. I'm very skilled at that. So I want to, for your spring, remember we have to get down for real. I really want to hone in on something specific with you. So if you sign up, even if you are a member, don't forget email, because I want to do this with you too. But if you're not a member, sign up before March 27th so that I can schedule everything next week with you. And then we'll be able to get things going immediately. Okay, so all right, questions. Let's see if we have some questions. And let me go back to the beginning here. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. And I'm not sure why. Okay. Okay. First of all, you do hear me, so that's good. Yay, Paige is here. Okay. And then we have dinner. Time got away from me. David, it's great to see your questions. Okay, a good drink. You know what? The cinnamon. That's a good question, Dave. So I would make sure that any spice that you use is organic. There are many brands, but to be honest, they're pretty equal, and I would just make sure that they're organic. I know Trader Joe's has they have really great spices and Whole Foods and things like that. So that would actually be my recommendation for you. So I wouldn't stress about that too much. That would probably be the easiest for you. Okay, first step, will you review? Yes, I will review. So really quickly, I'm going to get my notes because sometimes, like I said, I want to keep on track here. The first step is the water. So drink tons of water, drink water with lemon in the morning, and then also drink half your body weight in ounces. So David, that would be our step. Now, this is a good question. You are designed, I actually really want you to eat every 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes it might end up being closer to the 3.5 mark. And it's all going to depend on your body. I know from experience, I know from all of the research I've done, I know what has worked for the overall group that I do work with, is that eating at least, I mean, you will really try to eat 3 meals, definitely 3 meals. And there's so many different variations of this, and so many people have so many different ideas, but really try to be done eating 3 hours before bedtime as much as you can. You really want your digestive system to kind of give itself a break, kind of ease the evening, and you want to make sure that you can cleanse properly, because remember, your body cleanses itself naturally, and you want to make sure that you do that. So that's a good question there. All right. Let me see if there's any other question. All right. And I'm not sure about this question. Some say to eat every 2 to 3 hours. Others say no. Yep, that's true. So what you got to do, and now I'm advising to eat just because, like I said, I know for a lot of the group that I work with, I know from experience, I know from tons of research. Nutrition is a soft science, so it's really hard. Especially when you talk to doctors. Doctors are amazing, and I will tell you, if I ever break my arm, I'm going to a doctor, or if I ever do, I'm not going to, I hope this never happens to me, have a chronic disease, I will go to obviously I will seek help. But I also look at the alternative side, and I also look at Eastern views of medicine, and it's all going to be about your body. If the only thing I know for a fact is that you want your metabolism boosted, so you need to figure out how that works for you. And usually eating on a regular basis is helpful. Many naturopaths do advise that also, so it's all going to depend. There are so many theories out there, but when it comes to sugar, you really don't want your blood sugar levels dropping. You don't want to, have that hunger tie into it and the dehydration. So we could definitely talk about this more since we're coming up on the end of our call here. But you need to eat. And the way to do that is to make sure that you're eating on a regular basis. And let me see. Let me see if I have any more questions. And if I didn't get to your question tonight, I do get a report after the call, and I get a listing of your name and email, and I'll be able to answer them for you. All right, let me see. All right, so Adrian, let me see. And I'm going to be emailing the quick start yes to you tomorrow. Okay, Adrian, other than Powerballs, do you have any suggestions for protein snacks during the day? So when you get your quick start guide, you'll see that I'll have some ideas, especially in the Clean and Sexy program and in my detox programs. I have tons and tons of ideas for you. In fact, I have a special snack booklet that you'll get when you enroll. But when it comes to protein, it's all going to depend on which type of protein that you like and if you do plant-based. And I do advise that because it's very, anti-inflammatory, especially when you're cleansing. So the Powerballs, I'll tell you really quickly, another snack that I love, I'm addicted to, are my gluten-free banana oat muffins. They're on my website, and I could send you the link for those also. But it's really gluten-free oats from Bob's Red Mill. I put actually dried cranberries. So really, with the dried fruit, that also offsets that processed sugar craving that you might be feeling there. I put bananas. I have sesame seeds. I put pumpkin seeds in it, flax, hemp, coconut flakes, whatever. You can actually make it your own. And those are amazing. They have tons of protein, especially if you add the hemp. That gives you an extra boost. And those can be up to 8 to 10 grams of protein. So I can give you I'll give you the recipe for that, and I'll send everyone that who's on the call. So that's a great question. And breakfast suggestions, the smoothie when you have a long commute to DC. The smoothies are great because you are in the car or you're on the subway, especially if you're in New York City. If you're in a city, those are great to take with you because you could use the blender bottle, and they transport very well. Another breakfast idea would be those muffins that I told you about. I mean, I literally make 2 batches of them, so there's like 24, and you could actually freeze them if you want. And those would be great ideas, great breakfast. And I have tons of ideas when you sign up for the spring enrollment for Clean and Sexy. You'll get a whole booklet on breakfast ideas. All right. Okay. Let me see. All right. What do we need to sign up for get the 15-minute consult? So the 15-minute consult is for those who sign up for spring enrollment for the early bird. So if you sign up before March 27th, which is Friday, actually 12 midnight, so I'll give you till then, Eastern time. Now that we're in spring, it's just Eastern time. So you'll be able to book a session with me. So when you sign up, you'll get your goodies, and then I will be emailing you my scheduler, and then we'll be able to plan a time to meet. So that's how you sign up for the consult, and I hope that you do that because that would be fabulous. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. It's almost up on the hour. Okay, really quickly, Jamie has a question. Can you make the Powerballs out of organic natural peanut butter also? Yes, you can. In fact, let's see. I know I did a 5K race with Girls on the Run, and some of my girls had Powerballs they refueled after the race, and we did use peanut butter. I actually made the peanut butter. You could do it at Whole Foods. You could you could get the peanuts, and then you just make your peanut butter there. If you want to try that, that could be, peanut butter is a little bit, a little bit interesting, but it's a nut butter that you can use if you're not going to use the almond butter and things like that. Okay. Let me see. Jackie has a question. All right, what would be the number? All right, so I'm pregnant and not necessarily worried about fat burning, which of course, because you're making a baby, you're working hard, but you want to cut out the sugar, and that makes sense, and staying sugar-free. So the number one thing for you to do to add to your routine is going to be the water. And I know that's boring, and I know you might think, oh, that's not what I want to hear. I want to know exactly something different, because the water is just either too hard, or you might already drink enough of that, or you think you might. First of all, why don't you do this, Jackie? I want you tomorrow monitor how much water you drink. And since you're pregnant, I want you to drink 6 more ounces than, the typical, your body weight, half your body weight time, drinking half your body weight in ounces. So I want you to do that. And I want to find out the number, and then we'll go from there. Now, to go sugar-free really is going to be adding in the foods that I talked about tonight. The greens is going to be important. So number 1 would be the water. Number 2, especially since you're pregnant, I really want you to focus on the greens. I did give 5 steps. It could be overwhelming, and that's why I guide, my group throughout the whole year, because this takes time. But that's your number 1 thing. And we could talk about that more, Jackie, because I want to know that number that you get whenever you, when you calculate that. Okay. Oh my God, you guys have I love your questions. These are great, and this is going to be really helpful for a lot of people. So how do you handle eating out and hanging out with friends and still eating well? This is hard. I struggle with this myself. In fact, on Saturday night, I met up with a good friend, and we had our kids with us, and we went to this place called Mother's, and I wasn't prepared. I didn't eat dinner before I went. I didn't want to eat the food really there, so I didn't really order anything. I kind of picked off my kids' plate. And then by the time it was time for dessert, I almost ate the whole thing. I almost ate the whole chocolate cake for my daughter because I was just not prepared. So that's the first thing. Now, it happens, no one's perfect, and I have to be gentle with myself. And, of course, I was able to recognize that. And that's what's really exciting, because with the 5 steps that I gave you, you're going to be able to recognize when things trigger you, or when you kind of lose control with the sugar, and when and why that happens. And if you know that it is when you hang out with your friends, you could still eat well. And I've done this many times. First of all, I Google, or I use happycow.net to find out the healthy restaurants in the neighborhood or in town. Or if I find out where they're going to be eating or hanging out at, I find out the menu, and I look at the menu, and I figure out, oh, I could eat this, this, and this. Totally cool. I'm fine. Also, I ask the waiters or waitresses to build something for me. I know it might sound annoying, but they actually want to help you, and they're so nice, and they're willing to do it. You can kind of say, all right, I want this salad, or hey, I want this soup, but can you put avocado on top of it? Or I'm going to have this dinner, but can you make it with this? And they're more likely to do that. Definitely eat a snack before you go. Definitely drink lots of water. If you're going to be drinking alcohol kind of leads to that eating, crappy food, or wanting the sugar, or wanting something that's probably not as nourishing to you. I would definitely drink water while maybe you have your glass of wine, so that you alternate, and then that way you'll be able to get full. There are many tips. I have some blog posts that I've written in the past that I could actually send with the email. In fact, let me write a note. So I'm going to send the blog post and the information on eating out, and then on traveling too, because that'll also help Adrienne with her question. All right, so any other questions? Let's see. I think we might have everybody. And David, you have some more questions. And oh my goodness, it's already an hour and 5 minutes. So I'm going to cut the questions. David, I'm going to email you also. And some of the questions are about cacao and things like that. And there are so many superfoods that we didn't even get to talk about, which we definitely talk about during Clean and Sexy, and added into some of the recipes that we have for Kicking It Clean. Again, you guys had amazing questions. I will email you with your quick start guide. It's a few recipes that you can use that we talked about today with your 5 steps. Remember, I really want you to add things in. We are such in a society where we take everything away. Yes, the sugar, we must not have that, especially the processed sugar that's in Diet Coke and using Splenda and things like that. But I know for a fact that you'll be able to use the tips that I gave you today, and you'll be able to use everything pretty much, really tap into the benefits as you start to see things happening for you when you start to eat clean, and especially when you cleanse. So that about wraps it up for our chat tonight. Thank you so much for being here with me. And as we discovered, you can certainly jumpstart any health goal. The sugar that we talked about tonight, losing weight, feeling energized, and just plain feeling good in your body. You can do it without gimmicks or diets. I learned the hard way. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on what to do and finding out, what I needed to heal. I know it's overwhelming, but especially with the Clean and Sexy program, I have a unique system that works. It works for me. It works for thousands of people, and it's just amazing. And I want, if you want a clear, spelled out detox plan for each season, sprinkled in with accountability and love, without doing all the hard work yourself, because Googling things is great, and you can find a recipe out there, but it's putting it together that's the hard part, and that's why tonight I brought us all together so that at least we get 5 steps and get something started right away for spring. Now, I would love for you to grab the early bird bonuses that I told you about, and I would love to meet with you. And, this is a super special treat just for us on the webinar. So make sure that you look at that information. Also, if you have any questions, you can email me at lisa@wholehealthdesigns.com or visit me on my website at wholehealthdesigns.com. I'm here to help you. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. I put a lot of information on those 2 pages. Again, everybody, I'm so grateful to be with you during this wellness journey. We're getting down for real, right? And so thank you so much for being here. I'll send you the recording and bonus PDF, the quick start, tomorrow. And again, it's me, Lisa, with Whole Health Designs, and have an amazing night. Thank you.